Here.
Alderman Poulos.
Here.
Alderman Geenan.
I am present. I didn't have my microphone on. This is Alderman Spaghettis.
Thank you. Alderman Geenan. Mayor Tomes.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Oops, we're going to read that.
Number 2, as part of the executive order in response to COVID-19, number 2020-7, Section 6, Governor Pritzker announced provisions of the Open Meetings Act requiring in-person attendance by members of a public body are suspended. Specifically, the requirement that a public body must be physically present and the conditions limiting when remote participation is permitted. On Friday, June 12, 2020, the governor signed PA 100-640, Senate Bill 2135, into law amending the OMA to expressly authorize public bodies to meet remotely without the otherwise required quorum present during a declared public health disaster, such as those related to COVID-19. This City Council meeting will be held both in person and remotely. The meeting can be viewed on Channel 9 for Mediacom customers living in Rock Island or on the city's YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/Rock Island, Illinois/live. To participate remotely during public comment or public hearing portion of this meeting, please join by phone at 1-252-423-4132 and use PIN number 322-565-798 #.
Thank you.
This is Alderman Geenan. Sorry that I'm late, but I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've already done roll call.
Thank you. All right, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Start out with, real quick before we do the public comment, is to let everybody know we are pulling item 18 off the agenda. Item 18 will be pulled from the agenda. All right. Item 6, public comment. We have actually, we'll start, I don't know if anybody signed up or not, but there is there a sheet up front? But we'd love to have you come up. I know your sheet's here, and there's a few other people here to speak.
Is there somewhere I'm supposed to sign?
Yeah, in back. When you're done, if you could sign, there's a... It's not back there?
It's not there tonight.
Oh, it's not there tonight. Okay.
I'll come back.
If you just don't mind giving your name and
Nope.
City you live in?
My name is Dana Lichty, and we moved to Rock Island in June. And I phoned the mayor. I've also phoned the chief of police because I have some pretty positive comments, and I wanted some people to make sure that they knew them. When we moved up here in June, I was a little bit nervous. There were some protests. We were coming from Warren County on the Davenport side. I've got a child with liver disease, and we were getting ready to have a procedure. I needed to make sure that if something happened prior to that, we could get an ambulance and get to Iowa City. And the police department took my call. They didn't transfer me. They treated me with respect and professionalism. They got me to the right person, and they assured me that when there was a protest, well, first off, they make people sign up to have a peaceful protest. They make people understand what roads they do and do not have permission to block. They work very closely with all of you. And they said that when some folks were trying to come over the Centennial Bridge, they were met respectfully and asked to turn right back around. So they made sure that I felt very safe coming up to your neighborhood. Then I phoned again on around July 4th because it was fireworks season. And again, the respect that I was given and the knowledge and the information down in the Mercer County and in the Warren County area, you would expect such polite and responsive customer service. And unfortunately, they're not matching what your police department is offering at this time. Again, they were, communicative with me. They said, this is how we roll. We're going to let some people blow off some steam with some fireworks. If it gets too late, if it gets too loud, if it gets too dangerous, give us a call back and we'll be glad to ask them to cut it out. And if they still don't cut it out, we'll be glad to come back and tell them to cut it out. So then I phoned back again because we homeschool, and I think I'm going to bring a group to one of your meetings since it is open to the public and we can get a little bit more into city government. But there were riots on the television, and my kids were asking, why is all of this, in other cities around our United States, why is all this being destroyed? I called the police department, and again, hopefully they don't have a file on me. She said to me, I said, I know it's a COVID thing, but can we come in? Because I needed some help. I didn't have answers for our kids. She said, we'd be glad to send someone out. So we're renters, and we freaked out the neighborhood because a squad car pulled right up 4 minutes later, 9 o'clock probably on a Tuesday morning. And this man got out of the car. He met myself and my kids. He spoke to them. He was not in any way, shape, or form someone who was looking down, someone whose time that I was wasting. He was so, I don't know, maybe police work is super hard, but he seemed super excited to spend 10 minutes with us to explain, well, you've got a governor, you've got a mayor, you've got a city council, and then you've got the police force. And so he explained all of that to the children and then encouraged them to join when they were old enough. And so I had all this positive stuff, and I needed somebody to know. I'd already called them multiple times, but I wanted more people to know how well they treat people who are just off the street, taking up their time. And I hope that this really gets back to them, how much they're appreciated. So I did some more digging, and I called the mayor. And it turns out that his cell phone number is on the internet. So I ran upstairs, and I said, I called the mayor, left him a voicemail. My husband, who works for the Army Corps of Engineers, said, I'm sure it's just a work phone. He's never going to call you back. But I did get a call back, and so I'm here tonight, and I just hope that you guys can spread that love, know that they're really representing you well. I would do a commercial for the city. I am so impressed. You're not getting that kind of treatment in these smaller towns, and I got it here. And I hope that, when you come into those extra millions in budget, you can pass it on to them. And that's all I wanted to say tonight. So thank you for having us.
Thank you for picking Rock Island. Police chief is in the back of the room. And obviously, but I did want to, you and I talked obviously, and I wanted to make sure that people heard the positive story. Sometimes we always hear the negative or the different complaints. We do hear a number of compliments, but I thought it would be fair, and your enthusiasm was wonderful, so I wanted to be able to share that with the council and the people
Obviously
listening.
Obviously wasn't a one-off either. They're
No,
just
it's
knocking
not.
it out of the ballpark.
And so, yes, we are very proud of the men in blue also. And so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Jason, I think that's a video for you. # This Town Rocks.
I don't know if Jason's still here now, but yes, we will. Thank you very much.
Have a blessed evening.
You too.
Take care.
Thank you very much. All right. Is there any? I know there's public open comment. Did you want to make a comment? Yes, you may. We do limit it to about 5 minutes. And state your name and where you live, please.
My name is Larry Toppert. I'm a First Ward Alderman in East Moline. And I'm here to kind of explain how we approached the enterprise zone and the trouble and the problems that we had with it and the problems that I think that you should consider. It's not that I'm trying to change your mind. It's not. I'm just going to tell you how we dealt with it and what we thought is issues that should be dealt with. The number one issue that we had with it is we didn't understand why this was a bank connected with a manufacturing facility. Okay, we didn't understand that. We said, well, can they be split? Well, evidently they couldn't be, all right? So that was our number one reason that we had an issue with them. The number two thing was the reason for having the enterprise zone was the sales tax exemption. Now, when you look at the bank problem, they need a sales tax exemption. There's no problem with that, 100%. They're not a manufacturer. But when you look at 3M, 3M is a manufacturer. They've always had a sales tax exemption. And so when you look at the 3 reasons why they considered, there are actually 4, they gave 4 reasons why they needed the enterprise zone extension. That extension was based on these 4 principles, 3 of which they already had. So they have one principle, and that was investment tax credit, which would probably be their need. But there was also another issue there's like 11 items in that enterprise zone package. One of those items is a real estate property tax certificate exemption. And we asked for, during our time with this, we asked for a clarification. What's this and what does it mean? Because at the same time they're asking for these certificates that could lower their real estate tax that they're due, the county asking for their taxes in the real estate mode to be reduced from 30 million to 10 million. So we looked at it, well, we've already looking at them, they want 30 million, they want a 66% reduction in their sales, or their real estate tax, excuse me, I'm dry mouth, I should have brought some water. There's a 66% reduction. Wouldn't we all want 66% reduction in our real estate tax? Of course. And then now they're asking the potential to have another reduction on top of that. Where do you stop giving a manufacturer a reduction in real estate taxes? Where's that fair and where's it not fair? So these are the things that we brought up. We asked for answers, and the answers that we got back were very insufficient. And so that's why I'm here tonight. You guys need to look at it, make your own decision. I'm sure it'll be a very deliberate one, and one that you've not taken lightly. And but here's just to tell you how we've had an issue with East Moline, and we are going to continue to dig into the enterprise zone works, because we don't know where any of the paperwork comes from, where and how do they apply for it, who starts the process. As a matter of fact, I've had a conversation with Mike Halpin, and he's recently got me in touch with some DECA people to help explain this whole process, because we need to be clarified. We need to have a very clear and succinct reason for giving out these enterprise zone tax incentives. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your time tonight. Please give what I have said here consideration, in spite of my lack of fluidity in my speech. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? As far as, go ahead, come on up if you wish, and make sure you need, as far as the liquor issues and everything else, we'll talk about that when we bring that item up on the agenda.
How you guys doing?
Good.
My name is Shanika Jackson, and I'm here on the issue that happened in the district here a couple weekends ago. Obviously, well, I don't know if you guys know, but Jesse Brand was my cousin. 90 days prior to that, T-Mon Mayfield was also murdered. I seen your interview the other day, and yes, it needs to stop. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the number one problem is the resources in that environment. They have no choice but to become violent. That's all they retain. That's all they see. Drugs, guns, addicts, every single day. The resources I'm talking about is that we used to have a Metro program. We used to have a RICA program. We had Christian Friendliness program. We had a swimming pool that we can go to for $1.50. It is now $9. In a low-income environment, who can afford that? To me, none of the parents. Most of the parents have how many kids? 4, 5, 6. This is not giving fault to anyone. This is simply saying to change that and to change the violence, maybe just look at the kids. Let's start with the kids and give them their resources back, because those resources help me. This is why I have a great job and I work with kids, BD kids. I work at Davenport West, special ed kids. Any kids that have behavioral issues, they need outlets. Any kids that are in low-income environments that has like no outlets to grow, what do you think they're going to retain? What do you think they're going to become? They're going to become what they see. And if we can offer some type of organization besides what they see every single day, I'll run it. I'll be the voice. I'll start it. it will change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We need to make a change. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? And if anybody's online, *6 will unmute your mic. *6 will unmute it. Give a little time. I don't hear anybody out there. Nobody else in the audience? Okay. We'll move on. Item number 7.
Minutes from the August 24th, 2020 City Council meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes as printed.
Second by Alderman Spargettis.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos? Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurd?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8, update Rock Island. Got a couple items here, it's a little lengthy, but so bear with me, but it's all important, good information. So we have Thursday night groove concert. Get your groove on with the class of 82 at Schreiber Park, sponsored by Unity Point Health Trinity, Rock Island. In Rock Island Happy Joe's and the Friendship Manor on August 27th, 2020. Thursday Night Groove begins at 6 p.m. with the opening of food and beer sales. Featured will be Rock Island Parks and Recreation concession stand with the brats and hot dogs. Happy Joe's Pizza and Beer sales by Bent River Brewing Company. The live concert will be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Admission is free, so come out and enjoy the fun. Rock Island Citywide Garage Sale. Garage sales will be happening all over Rock Island and Milan the weekend of September 26th. Rock Island Park and Recreation has an interactive map to show you where they are located. Visit the interactive Google map at http://bit.ly/RI Garage Sale Map to view continually updated locations. Be sure to view each sale for specific times and dates. If you'd like to have a garage sale location added to the map, please call 309-732-7275 and register by phone for $10. This garage sale event will be held rain or shine. In lieu of having a large event at Longview Park, we feel that this is the best option to keep shoppers and vendors safe while still promoting garage sales in Rock Island and Milan community. We've had very positive response to this event and hope shoppers will get out and enjoy the sales, says Dan Gleason, Special Events and Fundraiser Manager. Fire hydrant flushing program. The City of Rock Island Public Works Department will begin fire hydrant flushing program on Sunday, September 20th, 2020 at 12 midnight. Crews will be flushing fire hydrants on first and third shifts until completed. The purpose of this program is to help maintain the water quality standards and the fire protection system. Citizens may experience brief periods of discolored water or low pressure, which is normal during the flushing operations. Due to flushing, there is a potential of sediment containing lead to be present in the water supply. Generally, this will clear up and be mitigated by running some water from cold water taps for a few minutes. For additional information about the fire hydrant flushing program, please visit the city's website at rigov.org/water or contact the Public Works Department at 309-732-2200. Another comment, people, a lot of questions. I guess I try to use this time now to help answer a few questions that come in contact. Halloween, trick-or-treating. We do not know yet if we're going to be a sanctioned Halloween trick-or-treating yet. We're still working with that COVID issues. It's a fluid issue, as most people know, and so we are trying to make sure we make an intelligent decision and not add confusion. So we will keep people informed here in the near future as those decisions are made, whether to have a sanctioned Halloween trick-or-treat in Rock Island. Also, note, I brought this up last time, shrub pickup. A lot of people are still out there on Facebook and everything else talking about shrub pickup. This Public Works is working very hard at doing this, getting this process expedited quickly, but we are also trying to do this at a cost-effective mode. So we're doing it on straight time. We're not wanting to spend taxpayer money on spending overtime money and on equipment and everything else. So it is taking a while. We started out, once again, the confusion is, we talked about Monday's garbage collection route. We couldn't get it all done in one day, the same day's garbage collection. It actually took several weeks. And so then we're going to Tuesdays. People are on Tuesday's garbage route. That is going to take another couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and et cetera throughout the week. If there's anything out there that's emergency, we're trying to attack that on an expedited stage. If a tree falls across the street, people can't get out of their driveways, et cetera, we're trying to take care of it. So bear with us. We understand the grass underneath could be dying. Hopefully it just goes dormant, and next spring it comes back and is fine. But we apologize for that, but we're just trying to be conscious of the taxpayers' money and do this on an effective, efficient manner. We are at this point looking for some alternative ways to pick it up at no additional cost to the city, but we'll keep you informed. But please have patience, and we will get there. Thank you. All right. Item number 9.
Special ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersection of 82nd Avenue and 8th Street West. First reading.
Alderman Sforgettis moves to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment. I realize that on the printed copy or on your internet copy, the motion says to consider, but I feel that on a non-controversial issue, this council does not need 3 council meetings to approve a stop sign, so that's why I'm moving to suspend and pass the rules, pass the ordinance.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Been moved and second. If not, roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Sforgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0. Motion carries.
Item number 10.
A special ordinance establishing a handicap parking space in front of 1236 24th Avenue. First reading.
Swanson moved to consider the ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Sforgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0. Motion carries.
Item 11.
A special ordinance amending a zoning district and zoning map changing 14.74 acres at 2379th Avenue West from R7, mobile home manufactured housing, to R1, one-family residence. First reading.
Motion to consider the ordinance.
I'll second.
Moved and second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Sforgettis?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0. Motion carries.
Item 12.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds, Series 2020, for large meter replacements, full aeration process improvements at both wastewater treatment plants, HVAC system upgrades at various city buildings, interior lighting conversion to LED at various city facilities, and LED upgrades to city-owned streetlights, all at an estimated cost of $13,860,000. Second reading.
It is my great pleasure to move to pass the ordinance.
Swanson seconds.
Been moved and second. Any discussion?
Just
This is Alderman Geenan. Is this part of the performance contracting?
Yes.
And where are we at with solar panels then?
Yeah, I spoke with them on Friday, and they hope to get back with us this week or next week. There was a little error in their calculations, and they had to go back and revamp them before they had a discussion with us. That's not part of this. That is separate to the performance contracting. They identified a vendor, and then the city's working with the vendor directly.
Okay.
I had a question of clarification. Alderman Spaghettis earlier said required 3 votes. Do ordinance changes require 3 votes or 2 votes when we don't?
Well, so the TEC memos typically don't have an ordinance with them, so they refer to the city attorney for an ordinance. So that's 1 vote. Then it's first reading, then it's second reading. So it comes before council 3 times unless the ordinance is attached to the memo. Now, our goal moving forward is to have the ordinance attached to the memo. So instead of refer to the city attorney for an ordinance, here it is, and that's your first reading. And then the second reading would be like we're doing now for this.
Right. So after the passage of the second reading,
It's done.
it's done.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
I want to just clarify once again, for the audience and everything else, on this ordinance authorizing this deal, is that the city is making a major investment to upgrade their equipment throughout a number of city properties, whether it be as it mentions here in the HVAC, LED lighting, some pumps, the sewage treatment plant, et cetera, that will all generate savings in electricity, use less electricity, and also less maintenance. And so those savings will actually pay for these bonds. And we're having a contract with Johnson Controls that if it does not, they make the payment, and they are the difference. And so this will be done at no cost to the taxpayers to make over $13 million worth of improvements in the city property and in infrastructure, so to speak. And so it's a very positive move that the city is making, that the council's doing.
Not to mention lessening our carbon footprint here in the city of Rock
That's
Island.
correct. That's correct.
As California burns.
All right. I'll take a roll call.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 13.
A resolution approving an amended employment agreement with the city manager and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract documents.
This is Alderman Geenan. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to make the motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second that.
Been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Thank you, Randy, for your good work.
Yes, exactly.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis.
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 14.
A resolution creating a moratorium on Class A, B, C, D, and E liquor licenses in the downtown area.
Motion to amend and adopt a resolution with an effective end date of May 1st, 2021.
Swanson seconds.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? And I don't know if any of the bar owners want to talk about this or if they want to talk about the other issue. Yeah, go ahead. You can.
How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Kyle Peters, Daiquiri Factory. I just had a quick question on the
Yes.
with no information on it really. Is it transferable? Let's say I sold my business. Is mine transferable? Is it no new licenses? What is it?
At this point, it is not. At this point, that because if you were to sell your business, somebody new coming in would be a brand new license.
Right.
And so at this point, we're putting a moratorium on no new licenses. So there's, statistically, real quick, and it's not an argument point, it's just FYI. But no, to answer your question, it is not transferable. Now, we are not putting a moratorium on liquor license that have, restaurant ones. So if you have a restaurant and sell alcohol, this does not affect that.
Okay.
Just for Don knowledge, interesting enough, there's actually 14 liquor licenses, actually 15 if you count Brent River, in this given area that we're doing this on, which is actually 62% of the licenses.
Bar licenses.
Pardon?
Bar licenses.
Bar licenses. 62% of the bar licenses, because some of those are restaurants. But 62% of the bar licenses are in this district, which is a fairly heavy concentrated area for the bar licenses. That's where I think that the council's, some of the areas that they're coming from, is that at this point, it's obviously got a sunset date on it by the amendment that Alderman Hurt put on it. Liquor licenses are renewable in May 1st, by name May 1st. And so we felt that was a logical time to then relook at or have this end, which would either force us to just let it expire or relook at this, whether we want to do any new licenses.
Okay, that'll work.
Hi, Terry Tulka, owner of the Rock Island Brewing Company, 1815 Second Avenue, and property owner. Before this gets voted on, since it affects me a lot, since my buildings are up for sale, can I get a copy of this with the rules and regulations before it gets voted on, since it was never shared with the public that it affects?
I have this. This doesn't have the amendment that he just made on it.
Okay.
But short of that, I've got this. That if you want, you can give that, or
I just think before
you
it
can
gets
come
voted
down
on,
and
the
get it
people
either
should
way.
affect should get a copy of it or something that they can read. I mean, especially if they're already listed, because now I have to go to a real estate guy and explain it to them and everything else. So I think that would be the right way of doing it, maybe?
We can definitely get you a copy.
Was this posted on Thursday? Was this posted on Thursday with our agenda?
It is. It's on the agenda. It just doesn't have the amendment that Alderman
No
Hurt
notification to anybody besides a posting on a website, right?
I don't know how.
Not that I know of.
We post on the website. I don't know if we put it in the newspaper or not.
Yeah, but there's no detail to
Right.
what it is, and it's already been changed since it was posted.
When we post it on the website, this is an attachment to it that you can open up and read.
Okay.
Now,
So has that been changed since it was posted?
No. It's short of this amendment with the date.
Okay, but nobody's been notified unless they went on the website and looked, correct?
That's as far as I know, that's correct.
Okay, so,
It went out
but
to
it's
the
going to get
media
voted on before
distribution
anyone else can
Yeah.
be notified?
Pardon?
So it's going to be voted on before anyone else is notified that it's going to affect?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, I disagree with it, so that's my point. I'd like to read what it says first.
Sure.
So,
And I can give you this copy if you wish to have this right here, but.
I'll wait till the end of the meeting.
Okay, that's fine. Is there any other comments? Discussion?
Well, yeah. I'll just say that I appreciate the amendment that was presented when this was first brought to my attention. I was not exactly in support of the idea. I do not think, I really frankly just don't understand this council's ongoing effort to try to affect businesses, my own, my constituencies. I guess I appreciate the willingness to make it temporary. I understand that we have obvious different perspectives and opinions on the matter, and I'm only one alderman among 7, 8 including the mayor, and so clearly in functional government there has to be some willingness to work with one another, even when you disagree. So I appreciate the willingness to at least put a sunset on this, because originally it was just permanent moratorium on any new liquor licenses in the downtown. But for the record, I don't think that this is the solution for growing our downtown.
Okay. Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 15.
Claims, item A, report from the Human Resources Department regarding payment to David G. Morrison, Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $14,631.95 for legal services rendered from August 1st through August 31st, 2020.
Alderman Spargettis moves to approve the claim item A.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries. Claims item B through C. B, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment to Valley Construction Company Incorporated, Rock Island, Illinois, in the amount of $25,048.16 for an emergency water main repair on 15th Street and 5th Avenue. And item C, report from the Public Works Department regarding payment number 32 to Civil Constructors Incorporated, East Moline, Illinois, in the amount of $552,001.47 for the water filtration facility, Project 2760, for services provided May 22nd through June 21st, 2020.
Swanson moves to allow claims items B and C.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion?
I need to recuse myself from this vote due to the nature of my employment.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt? Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
5-0, motion carries.
Item 16.
Claims for the week of August 21st through August 27th, 2020, in the amount of $404,159.91. August 28th through September 3rd, 2020, in the amount of $303,183.23. September 4th through September 10th, 2020, in the amount of $255,371.53. And payroll for the weeks of August 10th through August 23rd, 2020, in the amount of $1,531,814.05, and August 24th through September 6th, 2020, in the amount of $1,505,126.53.
Move to allow the claims and payroll.
Geenan, second.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis.
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 17.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the purchase of 4 tax auction properties for a total cost of $3,776, including recording fees.
I'll make a motion to consider the ordinance, but mine says 3,676. Did you say?
$3,676.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I
thought you said
misspoke.
7.
Okay.
Alderman Spargettis seconds.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
This is Alderman Geenan. I'm very excited to see that 1714 9th Avenue is on this list. Thank you, Randy and staff.
Miles, can you, I imagine you'd be, maybe Colleen, I don't know, whoever would be the most appropriate staff person. What are we doing with these 4 properties? I know we've had a history of buying properties.
Miles? Yeah. 2 of them are for rehabilitation. One of them is going to be rehabbed through CDBG next year. 2 of them are for demolition. And 1714 came to us at the last minute. Heart of Hope Ministries, they want that property. We went in and looked at it to make sure that it was a viable property to rehabilitate so that they could use it, and it is. It's in great shape. So they will be rehabbing it and using it for their own purposes. But we, instead of them having to go to the courthouse in December to try to get the property, it was easier for us to do it. I'm working on an agreement with them that once we have it in December, we actually own it, then we will transfer it over to them for what we paid for it in closing costs.
Thank you very much.
And then it will be theirs.
That worked out perfectly.
It did.
Sure did.
Okay, roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 19.
Report from the
18.
Community and Economic Development Department regarding the Solomon Site Purchase Agreement, changing the satisfaction of conditions date to July 1st, 2021, and the closing date to October 1st, 2021.
Oh, that's me, sorry. Move to approve the purchase agreement extension request as recommended and authorize the city manager to execute the amended contract documents.
Second from Alderman Spargettis.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 20.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an ordinance to authorize the certification agreement for the local cure program.
Alderman Spargettis moves to consider, suspend the rules, and pass the, ordinance.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd again like to explain why I moved to suspend the rules and pass. This is about money coming from the federal government and the state government that is funneling its way down to the municipalities, which we will get some of. And there is a time factor involved in which we need to apply to get this money. So I'm trying to fast track this. That's all.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 21.
Report from the Mayor's Office recommending amendments to the alcoholic liquor ordinance, eliminating Section 3-9, Paragraph 1B, titled Extended Hours, 3 o'clock a.m. option, and amending two related paragraphs, specifically Section 3-5, Paragraph 10, regarding annual training sessions, and Section 3-5, Paragraph 11, regarding recording systems.
Swanson moves to renew consideration of the motion to pass the ordinance changes.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I certainly have some comments.
Yeah, so just to clarify now, this was already voted on. It's aldermen have come to me with their intention to renew this. So I think it's the first time we've probably done this. So now it's coming to renew. You voted to renew. That opens up the discussion again and allows you to then vote on it again and make whatever motion you would like.
Right after this, if we.
Yeah, and Hector, you can jump in there if I didn't say that right.
So, thanks, Randy. My understanding was that that this was being renewed so that it would be on a future agenda for voting for passage or not.
No, according to Dave, it is on the agenda now. So if someone had brought it up during another business that they wanted to renew, then it would go on the next agenda. But since at least 4 aldermen came forward and said they wished to renew it, then it was put on this time, and all the information is here, so it is actually on the agenda.
Okay, I wasn't part of that conversation, so I just wanted to make sure that we were all tracking. Thanks.
Okay, it's been moved in second, and it's open for discussion.
Does this require a supermajority? Or we're not past suspending the rules,
So
right?
if you vote to suspend the rules, which you did last time, it will require a vote of 5. If you just vote to consider and then come back for a second reading, then it would require a yea vote of 4.
So once again, a clarification, this vote just gets it back on and then we would make another motion right after this
Right.
to actually vote on the ordinance for the first reading.
Right, so there's two, one to vote to say, yeah, we want to open it up, and the second to actually vote on it.
But only a first reading, it would require a second reading at the next council meeting.
Depends on what motion was made, right? So I'm assuming the motion would probably be to consider, and then it would come back for a second, yes.
Well,
So just to clarify, this first vote is to open it back up.
That's all.
That's all. This has nothing to do with.
Not implement the ordinance, does not change the ordinance, it's
so we
just to
can
bring it up.
discuss it.
So,
yeah, on that point, I think,
We haven't done a roll call on this yet.
no, we haven't.
We
It's
need
still in
to do a roll-
discussion.
We need to do a roll call on the opening it back up.
So we got,
We're doing-
technically got to open it before we can discuss it.
This is a discussion on opening it.
Can you have discussion on opening it?
And if they decide to open it, then there'll be discussion on the item.
yeah,
We didn't do a roll call on the opening.
You haven't yet, you're in the discussion right now of it.
Okay.
point of just the parliamentary process that's going on right now, I just would like to say, I have been accused by my colleagues on this very table of utilizing, whether it is a suspend the rules or not suspend the rules, of playing politics or whatnot, specifically about the B ordinance, which frankly is far less impacting on people's livelihoods than this issue. And for the first time, like Randy said, when was the last time that a sitting council has made a motion to renew discussion on a subject? I understand that this is technically maybe allowed according to our municipal attorney, but it has never been done before, and it was not the understanding of the council. This is just railroading, frankly, and says a lot for when this council makes a decision that we don't try to work together, but we just figure out a way to get around the rules and jam it through. So just on the matter of how this is done, I take great offense from it, and I really wish that, we wouldn't constantly be coming back to this issue.
I'd like to do a roll call on this part of it, just to bring it open, to open it back up.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
No.
5-0, motion carries.
So now it's on the table for discussion, so someone needs to make a motion.
5-1.
So Swanson will make,
Motion carries.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Alderman Swanson.
so I will make the motion to consider, move to consider the motion to change the times of the closing of the bars for the first reading.
Okay, so it's been moved for the first reading to enact this. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved in second. So now is the issue is discussion for the first reading to make a change from 3 o'clock closing to 2 o'clock closing. Is there any we'll get to the audience here in a second if we let you guys, is there any, council have any discussion?
Yeah, this is Alderman Geenan. From the 7th Ward, this is one issue that I received a lot of calls on from constituents. And it's been a very interesting dialogue. And from what I've heard, the majority of the 7th Ward is in favor of this type of a change.
Okay.
And this is Alderwoman Swanson. And my phone has been blowing up over this whole issue. And Ward 4 really wants the change to be put in place. And I received multiple calls about how unfortunate it was that the majority of council wanted to make the change, but because of a technicality, a supermajority was needed. And so to address some of the issues that were brought up before, I think it's only fair that if the majority of the council feels one way, it should be open for discussion. And by having the first reading and a second reading later, we are doing our due diligence to go ahead and look at all aspects of this and to listen to all people of the city, because this affects the entire city, because it's our city that's in the news all the time now.
I would open it up. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak? Terry, you can, if you don't mind coming up, please.
Hi, Terrence Tilka. I'm the property owner at 1815 2nd Avenue and the Rock Island Brewing Company and Ribco Inc. and the president of Ribco Inc. Corporation. I prepared this to read tonight because I thought they were voting on the licenses tonight, so I'm going to read what I have. So, I've spoken to an attorney, and I'm speaking for myself and the property owner myself at 1815 2nd Avenue, Ribco Inc., and I'm also the president. I've heard by hearsay that the City Council will be considering taking action revoking, amending, or suspending my liquor license to serve alcohol until 3 a.m. at my establishment known as the Rock Island Brewing Company 2nd Avenue Dance Club. It is of my opinion and the opinion of an attorney I have spoken with that the City Council cannot act upon revoking, canceling, or suspending the rights to my license without providing me, as the owner of this property, the right for due process and law guaranteed me by the Fifth Amendment of the United States. Some of the due process rights include to be notified of any hearing threatening or taking away my property or my restrictions of my license and my rights to defend them. This written notice must be served upon me in the manner of specifically by the ordinance of the state or statute or of the city ordinances. The notice must advise me of reading what action they took or did not take, which is in violation of the ordinances or the state statutes it is purportedly acting under. You must advise me of the time, date, and place of the instances regarding to the charges against me or my business. The notice must advise me that the state statute and municipality ordinance I am accused of violating, generally proceeding involving licenses that should start with a liquor license commission, which should have acted independently prior to the matter recording before the City Council. My due process rights also include that you give me the time to counsel with an attorney and to obtain legal advice and to prepare for the hearing before you have any right to vote on anything, to have properly before appropriately tribunal that will consider the facts of the incidents before reacting in the conclusion of the appropriate action taken against me. The City of Rock Island will be legally liable to myself and Ribco Inc. for the damages caused by an illegal shutdown of Ribco Inc. DBA, the Rock Island Brewing Company 2nd Avenue Dance Club under 42 U.S. Code Section 1983, and I will have the right to sue for monetary losses caused by the council and the city's illegal actions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I interject?
Yeah, just let's let anybody else. Is there anybody else want to speak? Yes, Kyle.
Kyle Peters, Daiquiri Factory again. Anyway, yeah, I've been here 16 years, and it seems like we've been able to operate our business successfully for 16 years with a 3 a.m. license. The city had great success 5-6 years ago with the guys in blue. They put the resources. It seemed like the vision was we wanted this to happen, and they made it happen. And we worked with the officers, the chief. It was really good, and it was safe, and it was there. Obviously, COVID has thrown a huge wrench in the business of downtown and in every city across America. It's not just Rock Island. It's from Seattle to Kenosha, big city, little city, and everything in between. After we came back from the COVID, we know about some of the issues that took place with the car and the shots fired, and then obviously the terrific, terrible incident that happened a few weeks ago. But going back, after the first incident, we did meet with the city, and myself specifically multiple times, and we did have a plan in place where the private sector, I think, really stepped up. We did fence off the entire area. We did ID. We did WAND. And all those things were set on one condition, that the city would provide an officer at each gate, because we needed a deterrent, a guy in blue with a real badge. And we had great success those first 2 weeks. We really did. And then after 2 weeks, the funding wasn't available for the officers anymore. I know the police department chief mentioned it multiple times, shorthanded. I understand all that. But when we removed those resources after a couple weeks, the violence went up. And that's just basic, stats in America. When there's no police present, crime goes up. When there's police present, crime goes down. It's a huge deterrent. We've done this before. We did it successfully. I've emailed some of the guys. The private sector, I know we do concerts with 3,000 people and have no issues. Is it because we put we're putting the resources in place to be safe and to be successful, because we all have the same goal. We all want to get there, and it can be done. But you've seen the numbers. I've said the numbers before and how much this has an impact on our business. It's one of the three major reasons I chose to do business in Rock Island 16 years ago. And I just think at this point we got to figure out what you really want and what your downtown's what you want it to look like, to figure out if there's room and space for some of us if we want to still continue to be here. I'm at the point where I need to be convinced again. Should I stay here? Because I'm really torn on what to do. I feel like not just myself, but several guys out here that are business owners have all stepped up. To make it, to be successful and make it work. But I mean, I don't know what else to do. We've done our part. I feel like we've definitely shown our commitment. I've stepped up on boards. I've volunteered. Terry's volunteered multiple times. Kyle, his guys. We've done what we can. So we really need the city to meet us halfway. We need someone to meet us there. And I understand the resources. It seems like it always comes back to money. But we need it. And and we need the officers, and we can make it work. It is possible. So if that's what you want, if you want to change the vision, that's fine. We just need to know where you want to go. It'll really help me as an entrepreneur, and I need to figure out what I want to do with my business. Same with some of these other guys. The moratorium is definitely not going to help. I mean, to lock someone up like that and say you basically can't sell your business for 10 months I'm not a huge fan of that. That doesn't make me happy, and I'm sure it doesn't make these other gentlemen happy in the air. These guys, Terry owns his own property. I mean, what's he supposed to do? So that's definitely didn't help by all means at all, and this isn't going to help either. So, like I said, with the compounding issues of COVID, the license restraint, like I said in the email, the 1 o'clock, I definitely agree with it for the night following the incident, but moving down the pipeline here, that was always kind of like a punishment for bad operators. And all of a sudden now we've all been thrown in the same category. And I don't really agree with that, So anyway, hope you just consider it and let us know.
Thank you. Chris.
Chris Bone, 1722 Billy Bob's. So last month I came and I was giving you numbers and defending why we should have our 3 a.m. liquor license. And so this month I have 4 questions for you guys, and I would like to know what your answers are on these. First off, I forget the female alderman's name that's up there, but she just made a comment that Rock Island and the district is all over the news. We're the only one, but that's not true. Davenport has way more violence, way more shootings and stabbings. Look at Applebee's. Somebody got stabbed on Elmore Applebee's parking lot. Somebody got shot in North Park Mall. The same person that actually got shot in the district. The district, because that guy got shot, we're closing early. JCPenney's, they're not closing early. Why is that? Point number 2 is about Steve's Old Time Tap. Steve's Old Time Tap wasn't affected by the 1 a.m. temporary closing time. How come? Are they special? Is it a good old boy clause? If you say Steve's is exempt, then why not Big Swing Brewery? They have an alley dividing them from us bars on 2nd Avenue as well. They haven't done anything wrong to deserve this. If it's clientele, Billy Bob's has the same clientele as Steve's. Why are we not exempt? Why is Steve's exempt? When there is info from the District of Rock Island, does the city not include Steve's? And on the websites, when talking about the district, do you not talk about Steve's Old Time Tap? Holiday Inn's website, I looked at today, they say on their website they're located in the District of Rock Island. They are a block over from Steve's Old Time Tap. If this is a district thing, why are we excluding some bars and not the other? Why is there favoritism? I would like to know.
And typically we don't do a lot of answers, but I guess at this point, this ordinance that we're talking about right here does include those individuals. It does include Steve's does have at 3 o'clock. He will be at 2 o'clock.
Okay, well, right now we're at 1 and he's at 3.
It will if this passes, not today, but 2 weeks from now, if it on the second reading passes, everyone is included. He's included. So he.
But why is he not now? My bar is perfect. I never have problems. Right. Big Swing never has problems. Mm-hmm. Is it because the council always goes there? Because they're friends with the bar owner?
Oh, it was defined, it was basically based on a definition of the Great River Plaza definition is what a lot of it was.
Isn't Big Swing a block down from the Great River Plaza?
I didn't set those rules up in those way back then, so I can't answer that. But there was some logic to it. But at this point, it's temporary and will be changing one way or the other shortly.
Sure, I get it. I get it now. Thank you.
Okay.
My third out of four things. Me and Randy Hurt, we've had plenty of discussions about the 3 a.m. liquor license. Obviously, we're both on opposing ends of this. And one of the things that he has said to me a couple times is, doesn't the safety of the police department matter to you? And it does matter to me. However, what Kyle spoke on before I got up here was the first couple of weeks, we had police presence. And then the last couple of weeks, including the week where the guy shot everybody, we were told if we wanted the police to come down, we had to call them. And that was what you guys put in place. So tonight I'm asking you guys, do the people of this community matter? Because police are trained in de-escalating situations. They have bulletproof vests and weapons that can stop violence in a second. Bar owners, our security staff, and the bar patrons, citizens and taxpayers of Rock Island do not have bulletproof vests. They do not have weapons. Without police presence, we are all thrown to the wolves to fend for ourselves. There's gang warfare going on in the Quad Cities, and you're deciding to let us sit there without police presence in the district. Do you feel that's right? Do you care about your citizens? Because if you do, I would suggest having a police officer down there at all times on the weekends. Let's discuss when the violence actually happens, because this is the main reason you guys are saying we need to lose our 3 a.m. liquor license. There is no one time this violence happens. 2 weeks ago, and I want the media to listen good to this. 2 weeks ago, when this mass shooting happened, I watched the whole thing start. It started 100 feet from my bar. At 2:02 a.m., that's when the fighting started. The shooting happened 4 to 5 minutes after that. If we had closed at 2 a.m., like you guys want to vote on, all the college kids that were there would have been outside. All the country guys from Sherrard in Milan that were at my bar would have been outside. You know why they weren't? Because we were open till 3 a.m. That could have been way, way worse. There is no one time that this violence starts. It can happen at 9:30 at Applebee's parking lot where somebody got stabbed, or in the middle of the day at North Park Mall where somebody got shot inside the damn mall. So the reasoning behind you guys trying to take our 3 a.m. licenses away is because of the violence. But if you would have had it at 2 like you wanted to last month, there would have been way more people shot, way more people killed than what had happened. So your theory behind that to me is just flawed. One last thing, and I'll leave you guys be. I've been saying this since day one, since the first meeting. You take our hours away, it will bankrupt almost everyone here. Take a look back next July when there's supposed to be festivals and fun times in the district, and look around, and it's all empty buildings with for sale signs, and you have an empty downtown. Just remember this. It's your guys' doing, and it's what you guys wanted. Like Dylan said, this has never happened before. You guys are so determined to close us down early. You're doing something for the first time in history that anybody can remember. That's how big your agenda is. And when everything's for sale and Rock Island don't have a damn thing to do next summer, remember, you guys did that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay. Need to try to move it on. Hopefully it's new and something different.
Hi, my name is Linda Gay. I've been in the Quad Cities over half of my life. I have 9 kids. Some of the kids that was at that bar was mine, family. I happen to agree with the bar owners. Why should they be punished? That was my cousin on the ground. And I disagree with them paying the price for what happened. And I'm with the owner. He said that it can happen anywhere. 60 days before then, it was 14th and a half Street. That was my cousin that died. So I don't always agree with everybody has to be punished. I'm kind of decent. I mean, you know, when I went out like as a kid, but when I dropped 9, I came out the streets. So we have to watch, and everybody is not supposed to be punished. Every human that was down there in that district, there was only a couple of, I would say maybe a Cain spirit through there, but a lot of them are Abels. Because a bar owner, a person that worked in that bar, he came and he hugged me. I felt his love. I don't agree with everybody is at fault for 1 or 2 people that react. I've lived in that community from the Arsenal Course to Turnkey to 14th and a half Street. And when they got everything taken, everything changed. You can shut it down, but guess what? Everybody's still going to find somewhere to go. And you're going to still face the same things. What has to change is the mind and the heart. This is not about money. You just turned around to that flag. It's about right here. It's about right here. That's it. It's about love and understanding. It's about accepting everyone as a whole and trying to help change some that's forced to become something that they're really not. That's what it's about. I don't think none of the bartenders did anything wrong.
Thank you.
That's my opinion.
Is there any further discussion with council?
Yeah, I'd like to
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, James.
This is Alderman Spaghettis. I have a short comment and then a question for our legal counsel. The comment is to those people who got up to speak and those who are in the council chambers or watching on TV. We're just trying to figure this out. We're not against anybody, but we're trying to find a solution to make downtown Rock Island a safe place to be and for everybody's business to succeed. Because when these violent incidents happen, then people don't want to come downtown and don't want to patronize anybody's business. So we're just trying to find our way and find a solution. And maybe we can all work together to do that. If we have legal counsel on the video connection, I don't know which one of our attorneys is on, if anybody's there. I'd like to know what our legal exposure is to some of the things that Mr. Tilka mentioned in view of the fact that we're not passing the ordinance, where there's a motion to consider the ordinance, which is different than passing it. That's my question for legal counsel.
Right. And much of what I heard from the Ribco fellow, and I apologize, I don't remember your name, sir, had to do with deprivation of property rights without due process in the context of a civil penalty in an adversarial proceeding. That's not at all what's happening here. This is a legislative proceeding, and laws can change in the discretion of the lawmakers, and it's a radically different sort of proceeding than the kind of thing he was discussing. And with respect to notice, the city has complied with the Open Meetings Act, which is the guarantor of notice and due process in the Illinois legislative scheme. And the fact that the council would be taking this up at a second reading would more than amply satisfy citizens' rights to notice and to be heard with respect to the legislative process. So do we have exposure in a 1983 action? Not for any due process deprivations. I don't see that being part of the picture.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Alderman Parker, you had something?
Yeah, I just a few agenda items ago, I thanked all of you for compromising, and I was willing to compromise. I did not want to vote in favor of the moratorium on business licenses, but because I respect each one of you and because I understand that there are differences in opinions, I sought an avenue that would satisfy all of us, obviously, even if admittedly the bar owners are certainly probably not satisfied with that. But nonetheless, I have really tried very hard to compromise with all of you. Mr. Mayor, when you did the emergency declaration and changed it to 1 o'clock with the 1:30 curfew, even though I had previously voted against that same idea, I told you that I would be in support of that because it was limited in time. And I guess it's I asked myself, why do I compromise with my colleagues here when even after being willing to say, okay, I'll work with you, we'll shut down the bars at 1 o'clock for 30 days, then all of a sudden this gets brought back up. And I take that as, oh, well, I guess that's how they appreciate my willingness to vote, to lend my support. The reason that I was in favor of the temporary limitation was because it gave us the time to put together a plan to figure out how we are going to improve and continue to invest in our downtown. I have no disagreements that clearly with the activities that have the few, let's be mindful here, the few moments in the downtown over the weekends is a cause for concern, and it must be addressed by the city. However, it must be done well-planned and mindful of everyone, right? We have, as has been brought up here before, we have a downtown plan. We have a downtown revitalization plan. We have all of these different plans that the city has undergone, spent money to do, and now all of a sudden this council is just saying, this over here is the thing. I mean, Mayor, we've been sitting on this council for 3.5 years. I mean, was this something that needed to change 3 years ago when we first got on council? I don't understand. This just feels to me like the city is so frightened of looking like what we don't want to look like, right? And when you are acting like that, you respond with a jerky, reaction. And I think that the city did similar things, just sort of plowed ahead with something in recent memory with Big Island, with Walmart. I want to make sure that what we do has been well thought of and had ample time to come up with a plan. And I've asked a lot of you, okay, so the bar's all shut down. What's the plan? And the response has been, oh, well, then we get retail, we get, restaurants or whatever. But that's not a plan, right? That's not an actual plan that municipalities come up with to get to where we want to get to. And so I guess, I don't know if this is falling on deaf ears, but I have tried to compromise with all of you. I thought that we had reached a good compromise on this to give us the time to address the needs of our downtown, because they are many. And I would ask for your continued willingness to compromise on this one. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'd like to rebut some of his comments. First of all, and I respect your thoughts. You make a comment that your colleagues were not willing to compromise when there were several of us who wanted to go to 1 o'clock. And through the discussions and thinking about the effect that it would have with the downtown bar owners and what other cities generally operate under, several of your colleagues decided to compromise and agree to a 2 o'clock. So I think that comment was not fair to us, and clearly not an actual fact of what actually occurred. Number two, yes, we are concerned about the downtown. Mm-hmm. We do want to make the downtown better. We do want it to be a place where people can bring their families down. And I would ask the bar owners, since this has happened, even when they were open earlier in the evening, what was their attendance like pre-violence? And I'm fairly confident that it's going to be less. So what does that mean? The time doesn't matter. It's the fact that something happened down there, and how many cops do we need to put down there? If we put all of our officers downtown, what are we saying to the people, the other 37,000 people in Rock Island, saying, you really don't matter because we've got to take care of this little piece of real estate so that nothing happens there. And if something happens in your neighborhood, we're sorry. We've got to spread things out. Clearly, the bar owners can't or don't want to hire them to have them down there, and nor should they. I mean, that should be a function of the city, or at least a partnership. And that is not happening as it had in years past. So I guess I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that you're accusing your colleagues of not wanting to compromise when that clearly is not the case.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Let's take roll call. Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
No.
5-1, motion carries. First reading.
Item 22.
Report from the Mayor's Office recommending amendments to Chapter 8, Division 4, Section 8-232, Vendor Permits and Division 6, Section 234, Prohibited Activities, as they pertain to the 3 a.m. alcoholic liquor license extended option.
I'll make a motion to renew consideration of the motion to pass the ordinance changes.
Swanson seconds.
Is there any discussion on this, bringing it forth? Once again, it's just to bring it up for discussion, to take then another vote if we want to implement it. This is for the reason this is in here is not here twice. This is the vendors part of it. It was a separate section of the ordinance, just for people to know. That's why it's in here. All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
No.
5-1, motion carries.
Mr. Poulos, do you want to make another motion there to go along with that or not?
I would like to follow the previous motion that we extend that to a 2 o'clock to go along with the hours of the establishments in the downtown area.
Move to consider.
Move to consider?
Move to consider, I'm sorry.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Is there any discussion on this? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
No.
5-1, motion carries.
Item 23.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding an ordinance amending the boundaries of the Quad Cities Enterprise Zone and the intergovernmental agreement.
Swanson moved to renew the consideration of the motion and pass the ordinance.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Is there any discussion? Once again, it's renewed,
This is-
so bringing it
Go
back
ahead.
for discussion. Go ahead. Somebody said
That's all.
I'm not, Dave, what did you say?
Nothing. I was just looking for clarification that you did. This is just to discuss it.
Okay, yes, that's correct. Okay, so roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
No.
5-1, motion carries.
Okay, Swanson moves to consider the motion and pass the ordinance to approve the enterprise zone, the Quad City Enterprise Zone, and intergovernmental agreement.
It's to consider, not suspend the rules? It's a question. You said to consider?
Well, I guess I'll put the suspend the rules in there, even though I don't agree with that terminology or concept at all. So, yeah, I guess you move to consider the motion, suspend the rules, and pass the ordinance.
Okay, your choice.
So that does require a supermajority then, 5 votes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Is there, wait, did we get a second?
Oh, excuse me. I apologize, I guess.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, this is Swanson. You know, we are the only ones who did not approve this. And I totally understand the feeling of the other aldermen from the other city that came out. But this is our community, and I think we need to show support for our other city governance and governments who are moving forward. Because I can honestly tell you, if this were Rock Island trying to do this, and we had East Moline or someone else who was going to go ahead and let the whole thing go down because of whatever reason we have, undocumented reason that we have, that's really a shame. And I think that we owe it to the citizens of Rock Island County to go ahead and support the other governments, all of who have passed this.
This is Alderman Geenan, but I guess I'm taking into consideration it hasn't passed unanimously in all of the cities. It was a tied vote in East Moline. So in terms of like everyone's on board, it did pass, but by slim majorities.
Only in East Moline, yes.
Only in East Moline. Rock Island County Board passed it. Moline's passed it. I mean, I think, you know, I think we need to, I think we really need to step up, because I think this was an unfortunate thing that we allowed to happen at our last meeting when this went down. And I think that as a united government, we need to move forward with this intergovernmental agreement.
Well, I suppose then what is the point of, I mean, it's called an intergovernmental agreement, right? I mean, if we are of the opinion that the residents of Rock Island's 5th Ward should not weigh in on the matter of, you know, whatever these governments are agreeing to, then why does the city of Rock Island and each alderman here even have a vote? Let's just give authority to the board to do it for, you know, I mean, the point is that we have the authority to make this vote, and by simply saying, hey, hold on a minute, let's take a look at this, it does not mean that we are not being neighbors. We're just doing our due diligence. I mean, I haven't seen a single, other than the memo, this has not been brought up to the city council. I had never heard of anything about this. So, I mean,
and I can't remember a time when an alder person from another city government has came to ask us to really look into it. And I don't feel like I've had enough information to really look into it.
What are the questions that you have?
Well, what is the gentleman from East Moline, what is the objection going on in East Moline about?
I don't understand his objection, to be honest with you. He said something about property taxes. That's not part of the enterprise zone. The enterprise zone, the main benefit from the enterprise zone is the sales tax on building supplies. So I don't think it makes a difference if you're a manufacturer or not. When you buy building supplies, I think you still pay taxes on them. But we've used this enterprise zone. It's been fantastic in a couple of our recent projects, Agri Solutions and GTI. And, you know, we're talking tens of millions of dollars invested in the city of Rock Island. It's taking advantage of this. I guess I don't understand what the objection is. No one has given me an objection to this. So we formed this enterprise zone. It's our entire region. If you remember, some of you weren't on the council then, but we went through a number of years of trying to get this forward, you know, get this passed, get our enterprise zone approved by the state. And at one point, we were actually 9 months without an enterprise zone. And we worked with all the municipalities. We did it all together. And it's 15 square miles basically in there. So now we're at 13 miles, or is that right? Somewhere in there, 13 and a half square miles. And we left some buffer in there, so as different projects come up in different cities and within the county, then we can add that. And really this This is almost a formality. We have had a board that has decided it. It's just, it requires an ordinance in each municipality. This isn't anything that affects us. I don't.
Does it have anything to do with property taxes? That
No, it does not. So it does not. Now, on their own, anybody can make a, some sort of property tax agreement on their portion of the property taxes. For instance, the recent projects we've done, we do a rebate of a portion of the property taxes. It's only our property taxes. So if the county or East Moline or Moline chooses to do something with their own property taxes, well, that's their. Yeah, why don't you can come up here? This is not part of this.
After the discussion in East Moline, the staff person at the county who is in charge of putting this application together sent everyone on the Enterprise Zone Committee an email just answering the concerns that were brought up. And he gave us a certification that said, or a letter that said that there is no consideration for property tax abatement as a part of this project. As Liz and I were just discussing, there are conditions under which that can be a thing, but it has to be negotiated. It doesn't just blanket
Negotiated
apply.
with the county.
Correct.
Not the enterprise zone. And so that's the difference.
And there are other like employment type tax credits. If you employ a certain number of people at a certain wage or a certain classification of job, those can also be eligible for some credits on the tax side, but those have to be really large projects.
Right.
We have a couple rehab projects in Rock Island, a small bar, a couple things like that. Those don't qualify for the larger projects. And part of 3M is in the enterprise zone, part of it is not. And they are expanding into part of their property, which was not added, as Randy described. It was not foreseen to be a part of a project that would bring tax revenue and expanded possibilities for the people of Rock Island County at the time that the enterprise zone was created.
Right. Another part of the enterprise zone, though, it does, for large, especially manufacturing in the tax incentive, is that there's a large investment and a large number of new employees. There is a clause in there, and don't quote me on the number, but it is like if there is a $50 million investment and several hundred jobs increased, that's when the tax incentives kick in for these jobs, not a property tax, but the tax incentives. So that's why they're not available to the smaller businesses. And of course, 3M can qualify for those as long as, and also as John Deere's in there and several others can take advantage of it. There's also a reduction or elimination of sales tax on gas and electric as an incentive for these larger ones that have. So, but property tax has nothing to do with it.
And the sales tax exemption is only on the state sales tax.
Correct.
And it has to be on qualified building materials. So there's a finite list of materials that qualify for that. And the sales tax only applies if the purchase is made within the state of Illinois. So hypothetically, in our area, that should help Rock Island County as well with the sales.
But it's a state
sales tax for the county. Correct. Only the state sales tax is waived.
So what is the objection from some of the council? This is probably the third one we've done, and this is the only one that has merited any discussion. I just don't understand no one's brought a question to me, so I guess.
Well, after this discussion, I don't have any more concerns.
Yeah, I think that was enormously beneficial, and again, to my comment earlier, why could that not have been shared with me as one that objected to this, or the council, other than just, we'll just figure out a way to put this back on the agenda and just outvote Dylan anyway. I mean, just all that I'm asking for is some information on the stuff that we vote for. I had aldermen from East Moline reach out to me and say, hey, we don't like this. And so I was more than happy to be a team player and work with them. They were concerned about unnecessary real estate taxes, et cetera. We don't need to go over what Mr. Toppert said. But there was zero information from my own staff as to whether that was factual or accurate or whatever. It was just, hopefully we can just pull this by Dylan. So
I can almost guarantee that it was not to pull it over Dylan. It was to be a partner in the community in Rock Island County. to bring it back up and work on making sure that it happens. It had nothing to do with your yes or no vote, as far as bringing it back. And so it was not to get even with you by any means whatsoever. And once again, I don't think it's worth debating at this point. We now know the facts. I wish, last time you could have expressed what the specific issues were that you had concerns with also. And then they could have been answered.
Sure.
Also.
That's fair.
Okay. So let's do a roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis.
Yes.
Alderman Swanson. Alderwoman Swanson. And Alderman Parker.
Aye.
6-0. Motion carries.
Now I got to remember where I was at.
24.
24.
Yeah, 24. There you go. Thank you. I apologize.
Report from the Finance Department regarding an adjustment to calendar year 2020 budget, increasing the Columbia Park TIF Fund 205 expenditures by $82,600.
Move to approve the budget adjustment as recommended.
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Poulos.
Aye.
Alderman Geenan.
Aye.
Alderman Hurt.
Yes.
Alderman Spurgettis.
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson.
Yes.
Alderman Parker.
Aye.
6-0. Motion carries.
Item 25.
Report from the Community and Economic Development Department regarding the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Optional Relocation Assistance Policy.
Oh, sorry.
Is that the one with no?
I'll move to approve the policy as recommended.
I'll
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Colleen, could you come up to the podium and talk about what this is? I didn't even know that this was on our radar, so this is exciting from what I can read.
I don't know what that is. So, because we have become so very successful in our housing program, our rehabilitation program, we have encountered some situations where folks have come to us to be served through the CDBG neighborhood housing program, and we have, through an investigation of their home by the our construction officer, determined that now it's too much. The house is not structurally sound, or it's not in good living conditions. We encountered this before, and we got other agencies involved. We were able to do that. We had a client come to us recently, and their house is just structurally unsound. So because we've touched it by them coming through the door and applying for our CDBG assistance, it's technically not touched by CDBG, so Uniform Relocation Act does not apply. But we still have to have a mechanism that will allow us to assist them, because now we know the problem. And we are not in the business of making people homeless just to get them out of an unsafe house. That doesn't work. I reached out to HUD and worked with they have a uniform relocation specialist, and she provided me with just an abundance of information and how to move us forward. And for this situation, the optional relocation plan is our best way forward. Now, we've never done this before. I mean, we haven't had an opportunity to be this successful for some time. So we don't know. This plan or these policies are fluid. We're going to implement these, but as we go down the road, we might find that we need to tweak or change something in order to be able to be more streamlined or responsive. We don't know yet. This is our first foray into this. So That's what this is about. But this is to help people. And there is a family waiting for us to be able to help them through this policy.
So is the general gist of the idea that we use federal HUD money to put people up in a hotel or something while their house is repaired?
This is not repairable. This house needs to be demolished.
Okay.
So basically what we're going to do for this particular situation, and all situations will be different, but in some instances, yes, we would put them up in a hotel. But for this case, we are actually going to buy their house and we are going to demolish it. So we will do the sales transaction. The bank will be paid off for what is owed. He will take the rest of the money and he will be able to put that as a down payment on a new home. And it's a family of 5, and the situation is pretty significant. Structurally, this house, that it's still standing, is pretty amazing.
Right. And just for the public, to be clear, this is using federal
That's
tax
right.
dollars. This is not using locally collected Rock Island taxes.
It is not.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 26.
Report from the Traffic and Engineering Committee regarding a request to ban parking on the east side of 25th Street from 18th Avenue south to the alley between 18th and 19th Avenues.
Alderwoman Swanson moves to approve the request and refer to the city attorney for an ordinance.
Second from Alderman Spargettis.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Item 27.
Report from the City Clerk's Office regarding a request from Mike and Penny Steen, owners of Skellington Manor, to close the southern half of 18th Street, 4th to 5th Avenues, on Fridays and Saturdays from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, and Sundays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., spanning the dates of September 25th through November 1st, 2020, 18 days total, to allow for patrons to allow patrons space to properly practice social distancing as they wait in line to attend their haunted house attraction.
Alderman Spargettis moves to approve the street closing request as recommended.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
Here, here.
Yes. I think everything's fine. We appreciate your efforts. Roll call, please.
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spargettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, item 28, other business.
I'd like to make one comment. You stole one of my things I wanted to speak of, and basically just to commend the Public Works Department for the amount of work that they've done. I know that my colleagues have all indicated that they have received phone calls, and I know that the guys out there in Public Works are doing a phenomenal job. And even when specific trees have been noted, the response has been unbelievable. And to do that without calling in, without spending any extra money, without hiring outside contracts, I really commend your department, Mr. Bartel.
Yes, I do too. Actually, and I add to that a little bit is that now part of the other problem, and I forgot to mention this, is people are adding more to their piles as the weeks go on. It's been so long, it's kind of, I've been meaning to cut that bush down or that tree down and adding to it. So that doesn't help matters.
That would never happen.
It does happen, unfortunately. But so that part's unfortunate, but it happens. And so we're going to pick it up either way and get the streets clean. But right now, I think they're projecting the first part of October, I think is the last I heard. October 9th. So after October 9th, if anybody's listening, If you still have it there, call and it got missed or some other problem, but we'll work on it. I'd like to also bring up, had the pleasure of going to a groundbreaking on Sunday. Alderman Poulos and City Manager Randy Tweet were there also with me, and the church, the Refuge Church, doing a groundbreaking, a building about $1.5 million, $2 million church on 11th Street, giving ideas, Blackhawk Road and 11th Street, right as you're going toward Milan. On the left-hand side, there's always been an empty field there on the left as you're headed toward Milan, and putting that to use as a refuge church. And just of clarification, not to give them a plug or anything else, I thought of refugee, and that's not the case. They will, but it's more refuge people, whether it be, they had trouble in the past. It doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs or anything else, but just a troubled past. It's kind of a refuge. They preach to those type of things. Along with other members. It has grown dramatically. They've had a couple temporary homes, and now will be able to have their own permanent home, which is a positive move. But it's always good to see those type of things happen and people doing good deeds, so to speak, making good in life. So that was a pleasure. So I had that this last week. Anybody else on the virtual there? Any comments?
I have one.
Yes.
Just a little update on the house out in Partridge Circle. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I'll be glad to say that it came down in approximately 30 minutes this morning, so that's no longer an issue.
If there is nothing else, we're item 29, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moved and second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Alderman Poulos?
Aye.
Alderman Geenan?
Aye.
Alderman Hurt?
Yes.
Alderman Spaghettis?
Yes.
Alderwoman Swanson?
Yes.
Alderman Parker?
Aye.
6-0. We are adjourned.
Thank you. My battery died on my tablet, so.